Tom Hardy returns as Venom, one of Marvel's greatest and most complex characters, for the final film in the trilogy. Eddie and Venom are on the run, hunted by both of their worlds, and with the net closing in, the duo are forced into a devastating decision that will bring the curtains down on Venom and Eddie's last dance. What's going on, Flick Stalkers? Welcome back to another movie review, this time for Venom: The Last Dance. It's the last in the trilogy, and it is out October 25th, 2024, and I'm here to give you guys my honest and spoiler-free review on if you guys should watch this one in theaters, in the comfort of your own home, or skip it completely. But before we get into all that, make sure to hit that big thumbs up and consider subscribing today for more movie reviews like this, movie reactions, and live streams 3 times a week here on the channel. All right, guys, so I'm here to don the Marvel cap once again. It won't be my last for 2024, as Kraven the Hunter is coming out later in the next few months, once again partnering with Sony. And before we get into my review for this film, let me tell you guys my experiences with the first 2 films. So Venom from 2018, I had a pretty fun wild ride with. I like our lore, our origin story, so to speak, with Eddie Brock and Venom. I thought there was a good love interest in that movie, as well as a pretty good villain. Now, 2021's Let There Be Carnage, which was the second Venom film, was one that was hinted at the end of the first Venom film, and everybody was super hyped. How are they going to portray Carnage? Because this is a very animated and colorful character. Sad to say, a lot of people didn't like the performance. I was kind of just lukewarm on it, and it was too damn quick, man. They could have flushed it out with like an hour and 50-minute runtime like the first movie and this movie, but they went with the 90-minute route, and a lot of people forgot about it. Now, 2024, we have Venom: The Last Dance, my least favorite name in the franchise overall. Now, this film is written and directed by Kelly Marcel. It's her directorial debut, and it's surprisingly also written by Tom Hardy. So once again, donning the Marvel cap, I am a ride or die for this Venom character played by Tom Hardy. Complete and all honesty, the movies aren't that great, but there is something about this kinship, this friendship, this brotherhood with Venom and Eddie Brock. I don't know what it was. It sucked me in since the first movie, where I knew for a fact by the end of watching that first movie that this was not going to be a character for everyone. Some of the comedy's kind of dry. It's a little bit, wacky at times. I mean, it's by this third movie, it's like completely cartoony wacky. And it's just going to be one of those movies that if you're not into this character from the first movie, you're not going to be into it by the third movie. So first and foremost, kudos to Tom Hardy, man, for sticking it out, or maybe this was in his contract to do 3 movies, but I feel like Tom Hardy, even though the script was bad at times, he really made this movie work. I could feel the love and the passion when it came to this Eddie Brock character, when it came to talking to himself, basically, because, I mean, you can't talk to a Venom on your shoulder. It has to be CGI. So you basically have to play someone that's schizophrenic, and he made it seem so realistic. And that's what I loved the most, is the dedication, the passion to this character, once again, played by Tom Hardy. Now, even though these movies are PG-13, I feel like we got enough of our violence fill as we're thrown into Mexico, let off by the last movie. If you guys have seen the last movie, Let There Be Carnage, you guys know where he ends up. But I thought we got a pretty cool fight scene in that first 15-20 minutes of the movie, with just enough, just a taste, no pun intended, with things to come. Now, over the course of the runtime, we get introduced to characters left and right, some scientists here and there. We get Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Chiwetel Ejiofor. I mean, he plays this character since I've been introduced to him. I mean, I really can't think of much dynamic range from this guy. So the fact that he's playing this higher ranked special units operative or whatever he is to take down these symbiotes, to take down this alien life, it didn't seem like much of a stretch, but he was fine in it. We also get introduced to Juno Temple, who's once again fine in it. They give a little backstory for her, and it's fine. Everyone that's thrown into this film that's not Eddie Brock is just fine. They're just okay. That's it. And it definitely leads to me believing that all of them were thrown in there to pad the runtime. Not to mention, we're introduced to this hippy-dippy family that, once again, to pad the runtime. I think this could have been a movie that definitely would have benefited on trimming about 20 minutes off, and it would have been a lot better pacing-wise, as things are happening, but they definitely aren't really that pivotal or dramatically impacting the plot of the movie. Yeah, it makes Tom Hardy kind of question like his existence living with Venom for this amount of time, which they mentioned is only a few years, but I'm like, 2018 was only a few years ago? I mean, in Venom years it is, but I mean, in our real life, this was 2018, 7 years ago. Now, right at the gate, we're also introduced to this evil villain foe that the whole reason for these symbiotes heading to Earth, looking for Venom and needing to obtain something that only Venom has. And this character looked like an effing video game character. Like, this was the worst CGI I had seen on a character in such a long time. I felt like I was looking at a Final Fantasy cut screen, and it just definitely sucked me out of the movie. I mean, yeah, we're introduced to kind of heighten the tension of things to come with Venom and Eddie, and it was fine. Once again, it's just fine. Now, the part that I really loved in this film was the third act of the movie. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it is symbiote crazy in the third act of this film, where I was like, damn, I'm glad I stuck around and didn't walk out of the theater, because this last 30 minutes is so much fun. If anything, I think you guys are gonna have a fun time, because the script is very lacking. The characters, once again, you don't really care for, and you kind of feel for this bond that Eddie Brock and Venom have once again teamed up for over the span of about 7 years of filmmaking, only a few years in the Marvelverse timeline. And I did see a lot of people praising online that there's a dance sequence that makes this whole movie. No, it doesn't. Call me a cynical old fart, but I just didn't care for that scene at all. All in all, I had a fun, brainless time with Venom: The Last Dance. So I think if you guys are a fan of the Venom Eddie Brock character, definitely go check it out in theaters today. And if you're just kind of interested just to see how the trilogy wraps up, definitely watch it on streamer. And once again, if you didn't like the first film, miss it completely. And all that being said, I think I'm going to give Venom: The Last Dance from 2024 a solid 3 out of 5. All right, Flix Talkers, what did you think of Venom: The Last Dance? If you guys have seen it, did I persuade you to possibly check it out or miss it completely? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys did appreciate this review, please hit that big thumbs up to support the channel and consider subscribing today for more. All right, Flix Talkers, I'll catch you in the next one. I'm gone. Peace.